the fishing policies we've got right now in the EU are probably the worst body of law about fisheries anywhere in the world. What they have driven is the near extinction of a great many of the EU fisheries. About a third of them are near dead, and another 50% are in danger.
This is because of overfishing now, is it?
It's because of the law, really. The law encourages overfishing, and the law also requires fishermen to throw back an enormous amount of the fish they catch, sometimes 40, 50%.
Because they're not supposed to be catching certain species of fishes.
Yeah, exactly, because of the quota system that's currently in place.
But those fish are dead by the time they throw them back, are they?
That's right. So you're just wasting sort of half the catch. One reason we've depleted the fisheries so much.
So the legislation in itself, it's supposed to actually help fishermen have a livelihood, but at the same time not hoover up all the precious fish in the sea. But you're saying that just simply isn't working. That isn't the case.
It's absolutely not working. It's so much not working that it's one of those rare situations where everyone agrees that it's not working. There's no disagreement on that. The fishermen, the environmentalists, the governments all say it's not working, and it really isn't. And the European Commission has asked for radical ideas for reform, which is where we come in.
Okay, so to go back with why it isn't working properly, you mentioned one reason, which is that the quota system means they have to throw back a lot of fish, but those fish end up being dead.
Yeah.
But that's only one reason. What are the other ways that it's not working?
Well, it also encourages overfishing in that people are the way that the fishermen's work is regulated is not very good. So people are not watched. People have various incentives to overfish as well, to take things they're not allowed to take. There are a whole variety of different ways in which this law encourages behavior that's destructive of the fisheries.
Yet at the same time, the fishermen are complaining the whole time. They're saying that because of ever stricter EU laws and legislation, they can't actually hardly get a livelihood out of fishing anymore, unless they're part of these huge fleets that go around hoovering up all over the place. Yeah,
I mean, what we need to do, if we change the law, what it will allow to happen is to have the fisheries recover, so that people who are fishing in a sustainable way will actually have a sustainable livelihood. The way we look at it is the object of the work is to create both sustainable fishers and sustainable fisheries. You know, we look at the human fish system as one system, really. How do we make them both sustainable?
So what would you do if you were in charge? How would you change the legislation?
Well, what we're doing is designing a system which comes at things from a completely different perspective. And it gives fishermen a certain number of credits in the ecosystem in which they're fishing, and it allows them then to fish for anything. Different species are given different point values, so rare or particularly excellent fish like cod have a higher value than some fish that is less interesting. But you're allowed to fish for anything up to your level of credits. You also then have to land everything you catch, so nothing is thrown away. So all fish is used. And the combination of those elements will go a long way to produce a sustainable fishery.
But we all like our cod, you know, we all like plaice or some of these other fishes. I'm not sure about plaice, whether it's on its way out as well. But, you know, how do you persuade people, particularly maybe conservative consumers of fish, to go for fish that they've never heard of, don't like the look of, isn't cod or isn't one of their favourite examples of fish that they like to eat?
Sure. Well, and cod will still be in the supermarket, so it will still be available. But there will be other fish that will be, we're all very price conscious these days, and there will be lots of fish that, since the price of all fish has gone up so much, will be very attractive to buy. We're working with a number of supermarkets to encourage them to market these other fish that aren't sold very much now, and we're working with restaurants also to encourage them to come up with creative ways of cooking it.
And if we don't, James, change that kind of behaviour and the current legislation just continues really to perhaps decimate our fishing supplies around us, what's going to happen?
Well, I mean, in history we've seen a number of the world's greatest fisheries collapse and never return. I mean, the greatest cod fishery of all was off Canada and the Georges Bank, and it was fished down so much that even though the fishery was closed, I think about 30 years ago, it just has not recovered. That is possible to happen in any fishery. And if we keep pushing it and pushing it, that will happen, and then the fisheries in the whole EU will be destroyed if we go in that crazy direction. But everyone sees that coming, so there is the real opportunity for change.